Okay, good afternoon, folks. Everyone is well. Onus, how are you? Karina, good morning to you. Okay, right. I'm looking at this at the moment. We've had a channel up there, and we've had two nice legs. This is a second entry long stroke higher low. I kind of like
Order
this.
submitted.
It's big though, and we've bounced off the bottom there, so tough one. Second entry long. There's going to be one of a lot of liquidity up here, so this is very tempting. It's rather large though, so I might have to try this on a limit order. I don't really want to risk 13 ticks or more possibly, but there's going to be liquidity up here for sure. We've also had 1, 2, 3 a triple test of this bottom line. Arminas, how you doing, buddy? So I'm just going to keep that down the bottom out of the way at the moment, but it is a possible second entry long. But you can imagine there's going to be liquidity there. I mean, 1, 2, we had a push up, trigger once, trigger twice, and it fell down. This is pushing up. You can guess there's going to be a lot of liquidity there and there. It hasn't worked anyway, so the bar's naff anyway, so let's get rid of it.
Order cancelled.
Okay, market opens in just under a minute. Okay, so this just looks like it's just dropping, I think, doesn't it? Leg and a leg, push up. Yeah. Okay, NQ, this is dropping out the bottom here. So we've got a channel up. Market is open, channel up, 1, 2 attempts ago. Let's see if this pushes up from here. We have broken out the bottom of this, so I think there's a good chance this could possibly push back in. This is interesting. We've got a bounce and a bounce. Yeah, Thomas Way just said it's quite common for these weaker trends not to make a new extreme overnight. Okay, so I downloaded that new news indicator yesterday, and it wouldn't come up. It's just popped up now out the blue. So for some reason, I'm not sure whether it's my Ninja Trader that's causing me problems, because it wasn't there. All of a sudden now it is. It just seems to. I had exactly the same problem. What's it? So I wonder if it's something to do with Ninja Trader. So NQ, there is a higher low. This thing is starting to look like it may be coming down. It's already broken the lows of the day. So it's hard to know whether this thing looks like it's coming up or down. It hasn't triggered that higher low yet. Now it has. So we've also had 2 attempts to go lower, so it is sort of penguin style, isn't it? But the trouble is, while this thing looks like it may be coming down, it is kind of like 2 attempts to push lower, isn't it? There's going to be a lot of liquidity above there. Also, it could be a break. 1 attempt to go higher, 2nd attempt. Yeah, you got to be careful. It could go up or down. I'm a bit on the fence as to know what to do here. If this is sort of, well, it kind of looks rangy, the NQ, and if this is, it's broken below the lows of the day, and it's took out that sort of any liquidity that may have been there, and then we got a high low and it's pushed above that EMA, so this could now work towards the top, and if that's the case, this could possibly take out these highs here. Let's kind of hope we get a higher low here, but sorry, a failure. 2nd entry short that hasn't triggered, so I'd like this to trigger, but it's just, I don't think it's going to. 2nd entry short. I wanted it to trigger. Come on, come down. So there's going to be a lot of liquidity up here, so this thing might just spurt in a minute. So push up, 2 attempts to go low. It does look like this is going to work. I'd like to get a 2nd entry long, a little break here, and then up again. That's going to, is it? Liquidity there and there. That failure. No, it's not giving us a chance. You don't get in early enough, you're knackered. So it's taken out those 2. There's that one as well, which I think it's likely to do. So there is a higher low there, but it's just hard to know what to do there. Okay, so that didn't get taken out. So that lower high or stroke failure, whatever you want to look at it, it's a big bearish bar. So if you're going to sell there, you may expect, you know, big move up with a break, 2 pushes up, new high, big possible short turning point here. So it didn't manage to get above there. Whether it will now or not, I don't know, but you'd like to think there's going to be some stops above there. I was looking at Alpine. I'm watching him a little bit, and over the last sort of 6 weeks, he's down about 70 grand. Ever since Apex stopped him doing that open range breakout thing, he just can't seem to make money, which is unusual. So I did mention to him a couple of weeks ago, is there any other prop firms which would allow you to do that? And he said yes. So I don't know why. Hey Speedy, how you doing? I don't know why he's not doing it, because he seemed to make a ton of money, but ever since then, I think his last payment was the end of July. We're halfway through September now, and he's just blowing account after account. So I don't quite understand why he's not going with other prop firms and trying to do that open range breakout trade, because he absolutely killed it. I've never seen someone so successful and have so many green days off a strategy in my life. He was absolutely killing it, and for some reason he can't seem to trade now. It's odd. Hey ERP, how you doing, buddy? But yeah, strange, very strange. It's a shame, really, because he made a stack of money doing that open range breakout, but all of a sudden, the way he's trading now, he just can't seem to make it work. So you're on your 20 PAs this morning, aren't you? I was thinking about you yesterday. It popped into my head. And I'm just thinking, how long does it take to... because you got to do them all individually, haven't you? When you take on the evaluations, there's no way of doing multiple evaluations at a time, so you've got to do all 20, which probably takes the best part of 20 minutes, doesn't it? I'm surprised they haven't come out a way that you can do maybe 5 at a time. Yeah, good on you, mate. I'm surprised they haven't done a way that you can maybe sign up to 5 at the same time, because doing 20, it must be an absolute ball ache. And then obviously when you come to paying, you've got to go into signatures. Mind you, that's a little bit quicker than it used to be. You've got to go into signatures, then you've got to put in either your passport or whatever, then you've got to select what license, and then you got to go into payments, and 20 takes a bit of time. The most I've done in one go is about 3, I think, 2 or 3. But yeah, it must sort of seem like forever. I'm surprised they haven't come up with a way where you can do, at least 3 at the same time, 3 at once. Takes so long, doesn't it? What's going on here now? We're definitely finding some support on this NQ. We've been up here, and we've been up here again. Looks like we got a channel with a break and a new high by tick. So this has potentially, or has it made a new high? I think it has, just, yes, by 1 tick. So this is clearly ranging, I think. Interested though, I'd say if you are doing 20 at one time, good on you, absolutely. But if are you continuously doing 20 at a time, probably shouldn't be paying for evals yet. Well, I just think he's decided. I mean, I know ERP's got some fast track trading ones, but I think he sounds like a trader who's making money anyway. But he did 20 evals, and yesterday he was signing up to his 20 PAs. So happy days. So that's interesting. So there is a lower high there on the ES, and this looks like it may come down, but it's a bit sideways here, and that's making me nervous. We haven't broke the highs yet. Oh yeah, I mean it's very tempting to go short there, but this is so stacked up. But on this NQ, we've had a break and a new high, so this looks like it's working down, and if this comes down, this will likely as well, but I don't fancy going short there with that much risk, because it is a little bit sideways, and that means it can decide to shaft your one, and no one likes getting shafted, so to speak. And there is a possibly second entry long there, 1, 2. I'd say triple test, but it's more just 1, 2, isn't it? So Oh, look at this. Wow, that's weird. So we got a channel, break, 2 pushes to a new high, big bearish bar, in a range. So this is interesting. So I would say the likelihood of this breaking these highs, I would say it's probably good. It is actually a second entry long there. And it's right off that EMA. But I really wouldn't want to go long at the moment. Not that I don't think it'll go up. My concern is as it turns and comes down. Put it this way, I wouldn't want to go long on the NQ because I think this now may come down, and if this comes down, the ES will follow it. I got my payouts anyway for those blown accounts. Good on you, mate. That's the important bit. If you get a payout, it's paid for itself 10 times over, so I've got no issues with that. That's how Alpine has done it in the past. He gets it to there, takes the money. If he blows the account, he finally moves on. The way he sees it is if he pays 35 for an eval, and 140 for the 85 for the monthly license, it's cost him like $115. And if he makes $2,000, it's paid for itself 18 times over. So I think what people tend to forget, or I think what's important to think, is you're not risking $2,500 of your own money. All you're really doing is risking the price of an evaluation and a what's it. So you can trade it a little bit more risky. So if I'm risking, say, $300 on here, if I had $2,500 of my money and I was risking $300, I'd be risking about 12%. That's way more than you should ever really risk. I think most traders talk about 1 to 3%. A lot of people talk about 2%. So I'm risking 5 or 6 times more. The only reason I'm doing that is because I'm not actually risking $2,500 of my own money. All I'm really risking is $115. So, you know, it's based on what you're risking yourself, where you base your risk percentage. So that's why I think people tend to risk a bit more. Certainly why I risk a bit more. I wouldn't risk that much if it was my own $2,500 drawdown that I was playing with. What's going on here? I am truly sick of this copy. Which one are you using, bud? Please tell me you're not using the Apex one. 2 trades on a few accounts open, ghost trades. Right, answer me a question. Are you trading the Apex one? Yeah. I tell you now, mate. Now, when you say ghost trades, are you saying are they closed in Rhythmic, but they're still open in Ninja Trader? Yeah. Okay. If see, I'm not exactly sure what you consider ghost trades. See, occasionally, if I look at my P&L, yeah, my positions, occasionally it'll close in. There's also my positions. Took longer now on 7 accounts. Okay, so I have these to my side. So there's positions tab here and a positions tab here. Sometimes they'll close there and they'll grey out, but occasionally they'll stay on there. Do not click close or cancel trades. Don't do that. Disconnect Apex, reconnect it, and they'll disappear. It's important that they're cancelled on Apex. It doesn't matter what they're showing on Ninja Trader. But if you click close on Ninja Trader, they will open another account. With me pressing no buttons at all. Oh, it just goes on by itself, does it? Yeah, see, I've not had that at all. The only time one will open is if I cancel something in Ninja Trader. If they're showing in Ninja Trader. Does itself? Yeah, I've not come across that myself. Whether that's something to do with the Apex, what's it? Instant opposite. Yeah, yours too. Are you both using the Apex trade copier? That they know. Yeah, Apex. I am using it. Yeah, okay. That's the problem then. I tell you something now, and I genuinely mean this. I have never had an issue with... okay, I'll show you. This is mine. I have never had an issue with this. Never. It works flawlessly. I didn't... They had a different one. Yeah, I paid 150 for this stuff. Yeah. I have never had a problem with it. Ask anybody else in here, they'll say Replikanto is the best one out there. I never get a problem. Occasionally, it'll close in Rhythmic but stay open in Ninja Trader. Occasionally, but I don't think that's down to Replikanto. So all I do is disconnect Ninja Trader, reconnect it, and it disappears in Ninja Trader. But ultimately, it's important that it closes in Rhythmic. But I have never had a problem with this. I think this is now $200. You can get 20% off. I've got a code for that, which takes it down to about $160. But I just do not have problems with it at all. And we have updates. Sometimes you'll get an update twice in 1 week. Sometimes you'll get an update every other month. But I just don't get problems. It's nice and simple. Put in your lead account. You know, you've got exact quantity. There's all sorts of different ratios, pre-allocations. And then you just select which ones you want to copy. And it just works flawlessly. I had the Apex one. I just had problems with it. It fried my brain. You're welcome, mate. But honestly, you won't go wrong with it. It's a brilliant piece of software. The trouble is with Apex's one, no disrespect to Apex, but Apex aren't a software company. Flowbots are. They make various bits of software, so you're going to get a lot better working product than you are with the Apex ones. I mean, I've not used the updated Apex. I used the old one a year and a half ago, and it was crap. So it's just not worth risking it with your accounts. You lose an account, it's just not worth it. So channel, 2 legs back, leg and a leg. I'm having issues with literally 4 days out of 5. Yeah, you don't want that ad date, mate. I know it's going to cost you an extra $160, but mate, if you lose an account, you're going to have to pay that by the time you're paid. It's just not worth it. Yeah, no, trading's stressful enough as it is. You don't want the hassle. What I would do if I was you, I'd email Apex saying, I've had enough of it. It's constant problems. I want my money back. Now, there's a couple that come in here from time to time. From you, there are a couple that trade. She got her money back from, so I would at least try and do that. At least try and do it. But honestly, mate, you don't go wrong with Replikanto. You don't want the hassles of trading stressful as it is. Replikanto, I swear to you now, I've never had an issue with it. It works flawlessly. But don't take my word for it. Ask anybody else. I would sell them. You've got nothing to lose. I'd just say, look, I've had problems after problems after problems. Just so I've got friends who trade. They trade with Replikanto. They don't have any problem. Can I please have my money back? This product doesn't work. You've got nothing to lose. They can always say no, but if they give you your money back, at least, you know, it's paid for. I think it's $200 with 20% off Replikanto, so that takes it down to $160. So I think you paid $150 for the Apex one. So at least you try to get your money back. It's worth a go, mate. You've got nothing to lose. Just say, look, I'm really not happy. I'm an unhappy customer. Can I please have a refund? I appreciate that, mate. You don't have to. You can use anybody's, really. But the important part is you get it, because you don't want the hassles of working hard for your accounts and then ended up just getting stuffed with software problems. So what are we doing here? Nah, it isn't, mate. It isn't. You got to try and get rid of all the little niggles. You know, you want trading to be as smooth as it can. But yeah, I've never had an issue with it. Okay, let's just put that at the low of the day to there. That first push 2 legs back. And And that is likely to get up there. We've almost made a measured move with 2 simple legs. Yeah, Replikanto. If you go onto Flowbots, that's the website, I think. Flowbots. Let me have a look. Yeah, here we go. So, it says 0 to 299. That's if you want it on multiple machines. But if you just select single machine lifetime, it's 199 with 20%. So that'll knock 40 off. So it's 160. It's just it just works perfectly. So that's it. Just go on to Flowbots and then Replikanto. But it's great, honestly. Good God, man. I don't understand how women can pay so much for hair. £121 for a haircut. So I've just had a ping on my phone. £121 for a haircut. Right. There's a possible second entry long here. I don't like taking that far from the EMA. I'm going to leave this one. I think it'll work. There's no room to the tops. Tick above it. Yeah, you haven't even got a point. You need to push through that, so you need a 1.25. It's just too risky, really, that is. And it's a bit far from there. We have actually had 2 legs up, so we could get a break and push up to this measured leg, or we might not get it. It never triggered anyway, but just have a look how close that individual legs are. So there to there, and there to there. So we're about half a point off, something like that. But this channel. Do you know, I was very tempted. I looked at that one, but the bar was massive. It's about 6.5 points. But that is the type of trade I like to take there. 2 clear legs down and a push up. You wouldn't have got a lot of points there, but enough to scalp out. So I would have gone for 3 points there. And it came down, but it never broke the matching low and then took off. So I think sometimes if it's a solid enough position, there'll be enough buyers in there to stop that from coming down. But it had a matching low. It didn't break, and then it took off 2 legs. So 2 legs back. 4 stack bars, yeah. I mean, now it's come back and rejected. It may work, but I'm still not taking it. We're very close to these, so you do get used to just looking at something and going, I don't like the look of it. Sometimes I don't even need to work it out, really. I think it's just a visual thing. Fortunately, that one didn't trigger, nor did that one. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know if there's something wrong with my Ninja Trader, because as soon as I adjust something here, it disappears. I wanted to move it over to the left. It's usually something called displacement, that you adjust a number and it shifts it to the left. As soon as I change it, it just disappears. So I'm going to email NinjaTrader later and just say, I've downloaded your new one. I've downloaded a couple of other things, and for some reason, as soon as I adjust them, they disappear. So whether something needs rebooting or resetting in my NinjaTrader. Occasionally, once in a blue moon, I get an issue and they say, delete this, do this, and restart it, and everything works fine. But it happens that rarely. I can't remember how to do it. Ooh. NES news, what's that? Someone just put, let's hope this price action moves a bit faster after NES news. Yeah, it's hard to know what's going on here, really. It's just a bit of a crap picture. So the way that's pushing up, I think this measured move is likely to get hit, possibly the bigger one. But I'm not getting involved here. It's a little bit random, isn't it? Yeah, there may be a leg up there and another leg. But I think this thing's probably going up. But I would want to see something like that. Somewhere on the lines of that, really, before I even consider going up. Oh, Christ almighty, that's the biggest medium impact news I've ever seen in my life. Surely that's not medium impact news, is it? What the hell's caused that? That's not medium impact news. We haven't got medium impact. We've only got medium impact news today. Forex Factory. Let's have a look at this. Okay, only news we got there is prelim consumer sentiment. That's not acting like a medium impact news. Christ almighty, I'm quite glad I never got into a trade there. Wow. Bloody hell. Yeah, I'm not the only one who's noticed that. So that's a big impact for medium. Bloody hellfire. I've never seen medium impact news act like that. Never. Strange that is. Okay, so at least both those measured moves worked out. So it ended up shooting up first, then dropping, and then recovering. So there is a lower high here now. Wow. That surprised me. Well, this may be interesting. Okie dokie, look at that. So that channel is at a break and a new high, and so is that one. Does look like there is a possible channel up there. So both of those measured moves played out, so we don't need them. So measured moves certainly sorted that out. You basically buy a breakout at the top level. Yeah. See, I wonder if that, because some of these companies say you can't trade the news. What does that mean? Any type of news, or is it just eye impact news? Because I've not seen that work like that. Quite glad I wasn't in a trade there. There was nothing going anyway, fortunately. No one was in a trade there by any chance, were they? I mean, that was a fair old news. Fair old shoot. So that went up, what? Not a huge amount, but enough to do some damage. So it went up by 6 3/4. And then down by 11 points. And then a quick recovery. So it didn't do a lot really. Up, down, and more or less where it was. So it looks like it fits, but it's, I don't know, I'm not sure actually. You haven't taken that one. Oh, Thomas Wade's put, I like that signal bar. I hope he's not talking about, not Thomas Wade, Marco. I hope he's not talking about that one. Surely not. I doubt he's trading that lot, I don't think. Saw it, but again, Daniel has congestion. Bringing him eyes stacked up. Nothing you could do with that, really. There'll be lots of longs in there. There was some shorts in there, but no, there's nothing you could do here, really. In fact, this whole thing's a bit sideways. Oh, lovely. I thought Marco was into his whiskey. Oh, he's got some nice ones there. That Delamore's not cheap. You should come over tonight. Marco's in the US, isn't it? It's a bit more. It's quite a bit of a long flight. There's nothing you could do here at the moment. What is causing all this to stack like this? It's all right. Just drop in a quick email. Okay. Yeah, he has started posting his chart a bit, Daniel, hasn't he? I'm quite glad, actually. If I put that right at the bottom, that bar there. Fatten that, maybe take it up just a fraction. Yeah, it's okay. Trouble is, there's nothing you can do up here. Looking at the NQ, we could have a leg and a leg. No, it's not the easiest chart to read today. We could have a leg and a leg, which we're not far off from now, to be fair. So we've had a channel with a break and a new high, or what looks like a channel, or a bit of a spike in a channel, somewhere along those lines. Little break, new high, and then a quick drop, but now we're trying to push up again. So I can't help but think we're quite bullish today. We were yesterday. We definitely were the day before. There's no, that's the most bullish we've been for a while, that is. Day before that, a bit sideways. Then we had more pushing up. So, and then we had all that spacer down stuff, didn't we? So, it's only a shame I actually stopped about here. It would have been nice to trade all that. But the thing is, sometimes when you get these strong trends days, you don't get a lot of trades. But if you do happen to get in a good one, you can hold it and make a bit of money. It's something I'm trying to do a little bit more. So, you know, if it's starting to trend really nice and you get a nice second entry long, it's the type of trade that's probably worth holding on to. Yeah, Marco's just posted that now, so he likes that as well. He's got a small break here, but whether it is or not, I don't think it really matters. At least we know it's roughly going up there. So, trouble is, there's nothing you can do up here, really. But we just don't expect it to. You know, occasionally you hear about people saying, "Oh, we got some medium impact news," but it just never seems to do anything. Hey, Hamza, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, it never seems to really do much. That's the quickest move I've ever seen on that. I mean, that is definitely a high impact news type of move, isn't it? But I suppose, you know, you never quite know. If the news is a little bit out of the ordinary, then there's no reason why it can't have a little bit of a hike up. Okay, while it's up here, folks, I'm expecting it to at least come down here or down to the bottom of something. I'm going to go and make a quick cup of tea and take a quick 5-minute break. I'd rather do it now while it's quiet and not a lot is happening, so I'll leave that going like that. So I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. So it's just done nothing since I've gone. I hope it's not going to be one of those days. Kind of fits off that low, doesn't it? Yesterday's low. I don't know. I hate it when it starts to go funny like that. Let's just do it from there for now. So I've got to look at that as an overshoot at the moment. Yeah, do you know what? I did that a few minutes ago. Marco's just done it as well. And he's put it to the bottom there, and that fits. I was kind of unaware it was something we should really do, but fits there. We broke through there because of the news, but it touches nice there. So I'm quite okay with that. You have that channel as well, do you, Ryan? Yeah. And not only that, it's actually, would you consider it as a break and then a new height? It's hard to say, really. I don't know whether I consider new Spike as a break, because sometimes I've seen Matt mark him and he just puts a line straight through him. So, but yeah, I did it a minute ago and then changed it, but now Thomas Way's done it and you've mentioned it. That's 3 people. You don't think it's a break? No. I don't think you consider it as a break, really, because it's just obviously the news spike up and down. But you know, the normal day to day, I refer to it on the 10,000 chart for clarity. Let's have a look. 10,000. So look at this. Yeah. How far does it go? It's important to look at these. I think they can give you a better picture. So, yeah, that fits beautifully, really, doesn't it? You wouldn't go any lower, would you? Well, you never know, depending on if it continues to move. The channel fits really well. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Touch. Fitting nice on there. It's turned at the perfect place. So yeah, it's a good point, that is. I do look at it from time to time. Probably not enough. I may keep one just little chart somewhere. But it's turned at the right place. But really, we want it to sort of come down to here now. We don't want it to come down that quick. Mind you, it would save us waiting. But let's have a look. So this thing could just keep going up. Trouble is, where's all-time highs? I usually have something up here. Isn't it around the 720s? I think it's around here, all-time highs. Tell you what, while we have a look on the 10,000, let's have a quick look on the daily. See where it's likely to go. Okay, so all-time highs are here. So, yeah, around about the 730, I'd say something. No, 720, 730, somewhere around here. But we had sort of 2 legs down. We had that big push up, a little bit of sideways, then we had a drop and a strong push up. So, just get rid of that. Right. Okay, so we had that big strong bull bar that we've pushed up, and so far it's pushing up again. Whether it'll have a little pullback before it pushes up to the highs, that's the thing. A small pullback on here. If this comes back down and drops below here, that can be like 100 points. So I think the overall picture is likely to head up and break. So if we get a leg up, we may get a little pullback and another leg, or we could get a straight strong move like this. But we're certainly generally overall working up at the moment. So, but the trouble is we pushed up. We have had a small pullback there. Which is that. We could get more of a pullback. got the idea from Thomas Way. Oh, you're in Wait. You're in Thomas's, are you? Are you in here? Are you? Yeah, he does use the 10,000 from time to time, doesn't it? I heard him mention it once. In fact, he got the idea from Panda, I think. I think it was a Panda. Is he still streaming, is he? I haven't seen anything for a while. I think he did mention it. Yeah, he did. I heard him mention it. Maybe, I don't know, 6-7 months ago. He is still streaming, is he? Yeah. He seems to have got into some unusual habits, doesn't he? He streams NQ, does he? It's a shame, really. He seemed to sort of slip into some sort of bad habits, and but if you look back on some of his older videos, he was having lots of green days. Now he tends to have about 3 or 4 red days to 1 green day, but I don't kind of know why he's sort of slipped into. I think he kind of does part Mac, part Al Brooks, doesn't he? But he seems to slip into some. And I don't know. He's just found his own type of thing, really. He blows through accounts like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, he does. Mind you, I've had my fair share of those days, that's for certain. But yeah, it's almost like he's slipped into some really bad habits he can't kind of get out of. Which is a shame, because he's a nice guy. But if you look back on some of his older videos, he had loads of green days. So he has been able to trade in the past. But sometimes you ask yourself the question, is it easy to slip into some bad habits? I've found it happening to me a couple of times. You have a few bad days or a couple of bad weeks, and that can turn into some odd decision making. I've found it really hard sometimes. Once you start having a few bad days or a bad week and stuff goes wrong, it's very hard to get yourself out of it. He's just had a 25. Well, Panda has he really? It's unusual. I saw Wilson put up a vid when he took his big withdrawal in September. Guess he stopped streaming. I don't think he has, mate. I think he might have done, but he stopped for a while because he's been ill. Panda is not a full-time trader. No, I'm not sure about Panda. I've not seen him take any money out lately, but it's not to say he hasn't. There's something's wrong with Wilson. I don't know what it is, but he stopped a few months ago for a while he said ill health, and he stopped again 3 or 4 weeks ago. But yeah, he had a 15,000 payout, then a 25,000 payout. I mean, I hope it's not, because I know in the past he said he had a problem with some software which caused him to lose the accounts, and then he come clean and said, no, I blew and blah, blah, blah. So I hope he hasn't blown them and a bit too embarrassed to say. But I'm pretty sure he has been ill in the past. So put up a video 2 days ago, but no streams. Oh, I haven't seen that. I'm sure I usually have a link to his things, so it pops out. I'll have to have a look. But I keep an eye out for him now and again. I watch all the streamers, really, because it's the only way you can find out how other lads have done for the day. I know Alpine's getting battered lately. He's going for a bad stage. But I like Wilson. He's got a lot of determination, Wilson has, and I like that. I know he's been through about 4 lots of 20 accounts. I've lost 1 lot of 20, and I know how it felt. And he's been doing it for quite a while, so I'm glad he's having some success. I think he deserves it. He has bad days, but he always has that little positive bit that just never seems to go away, and I think that's what you need. So he'll do well, Wilson. Correction, he is doing well, Wilson. Well, he was up until when he stopped. But he's kind of found his own rhythm, I think, because a lot of trades he was taking aren't necessarily pats. But he was taking a lot of first entries, a lot of unusual failures, but they were working. So, I mentioned this a few times. I think sometimes you can find your own way of doing things that works for you. So whether he's found like a sort of strategy in between, you know, Mac, but it's working for him. I mean, you can have bouts of luck. I've had them myself sometimes where, you know, you just get some lucky trades, but he's had them for that long that it can't be luck. And there is a bit of a pattern in his trading, so I think he's just found his own way of doing it. So this is the issue we have now, Ryan. If we don't consider this a break, we've got a channel. We've got to look for a new... Now, do we consider this? Do we consider that as a break and a new high and it could come down? Or we consider this as a first break and we're looking to push higher? But after that move up, I'll be surprised if we have a small move and then this. So I'd like to kind of see that make a new low and then start to work. But Happy's got paid. Oh, yeah, 25 grand. That's... I don't care what anybody says. That's a fair size payment, that is. Yeah, that's a good payment, that. Well, I mean, do you know what? I'm just going to try something. What's the average wage in the US? 50 grand? Something like that a year? It's hard to say there. There could be something larger working there, but I can't bring myself to take a long here. In fact, there may even be a small break there, but it is very small. What's the average wage in the UK? In the US, about $50,000, maybe a bit more. So he's had 6 months' wages in one month. So you don't need to earn a lot. So there may be a small break there and a new low, and there's a failure there. But we've also got a leg and a leg. And this could come down to break these lows, but there is possibility. I've gone right tight there and right tight there. So I've been caught out by a small move like that before. I emailed Mac once and he went, we've had a small break, and I'm not kidding you, it was the size of that. So leg and a leg, got to be a bit careful here. There you go, 47 grand. So if he's earned 25 grand in 1 month, you've only got to earn that twice a year, to have a year's wage. And what's he working? 3 hours a day? 4 hours a day? So, but someone said to me, you full-time or part-time? And I went full-time, and Rach looked at me as if to say, you're actually less than part-time. You only do about 2.5 hours a day. So yeah, you think about all the extra time off. All the time. It's great if you've got families and kids as well. I mean, I don't sort of trade till I don't get to my computer till around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But I can take my daughter to school. I can get up and do breakfast in the morning. So, you know, if she's on holiday, I don't have to get out of bed at the crack of dawn. I don't have to go out in the freezing cold a lot of times. You know, some of the jobs I've had in the past, I was driving oil tankers for an oil company for a while, and I start at 4 in the morning, so my alarm used to go at 2:30 in the morning. There's nothing, and I used to walk to work to get some exercise because I was sat my arse driving, and I'd walk 2 miles there and 2 miles back just for the exercise, and leaving the house at like 5 o'clock, at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, freezing cold mornings, and I don't miss that, honest. There's so many benefits to being a trader. You know, a lot more freedom. You're not working for anybody else. It takes time to learn, obviously, but there are lots of benefits. Someone's taken that trade, actually. I don't know how I feel about that myself, but I think you've got a couple of points off it. Yeah, definitely. So it was a failure trapping some possible shorts. That's the only reason I'd say there, but it could push up to that EMA, trigger it, and end up being a double trap on a small, yeah. If I've already got a trade, I'm very, very particular. So, yeah, plenty there. I'm very particular on... Would I say that's an obvious trade? It's one of those ones I say I'm not sure because we've had a channel down and we could have a leg and a leg, test the underside of this or the EMA, and come back down and take both of those out and make a new low. Because for such a big move up, it's unusual to have such a small break and to push straight in. But the bar looked okay. But after that channel down, you just don't know whether you're going to have a leg and a leg and then just come down. But yeah, if you're up a little bit, especially on a Friday, you want to keep it. So that's worked really well, that has. Very well. It's going to be 10 points, isn't it, near us? Not far. 8, still 8. I bet it will, though, if it breaks those highs, which I think it will. I think the good thing is, if this does continue, it may pull back, but I doubt it'll drop much below that line, so I think you're probably safe here to run that right to the top. See this channel here? You've heard me talking about a double width channel. Whenever we come down and we get a bullish bar, if you just short it, you pull down in this channel, bullish bar. If you short that, 2 point risk, 2 point profit, it works straight away. That one there, another bullish bar, short that one, 2 points profit straight away. Same with that one. Channel, bearish bar. I prefer that a little bit bearish, but it still works. Push straight up. They do work, those. These types, well, it's not terrible, that, but a little bit tighter than that, but they do work. That's what I call a single. That's what I would probably call a double. Same again, push up, bearish bar, you buy, triggers you, comes down a bit, pushes up. Same again, you buy it there, comes down a bit, pushes up, straight away you get your points. Those slightly double width channels, whenever you get a bearish bar going up that finishes close to its lows, it just crosses over and pushes up. I might have one day traded an evaluation on another account and just trade solely those and see how I get on. Same on this NQ. If I look at this NQ, there I wouldn't take, but that one I probably would. Same again, if you put an order in there and buy, comes down, triggers it, pushes straight up. Yeah, I get why he's took that. I'm assuming you would take that on the engulfing, wouldn't you? So if you took it a tick above there, it's a 4-point risk. It is a failure. See, we've gone tight there and tight there. So really, either one of these you can consider. You could say it's got a break, 2 pushes down to a new low. Trouble is, if it's negligible, you can miss that. 1 leg up, 2 legs up, it triggers you. You've made 2 legs and it could work down. Take out that, go sideways and eventually work up. So, we ain't got far to go there. There's 12 points from that if you can hold on. I think there's a good chance it's going to break those highs. I kind of expected a bit of a pullback here, but even so, look at that, smash straight through that. I'm surprised that did that. Whenever we see these big channels like that, it rarely breaks out like that and pushes straight back in strong. You went long on that. Fairly good on you, mate. I was concerned because of the channel. I didn't know whether we were going to get a break and a new low, because so many times when we get these channels and we get a break of it, so many times it'll have 2 legs up, then it'll go like that, and then down to there, then up, then maybe break the lows, and then some of this, some of that, and eventually working its way up. So many times it does that. It doesn't often break and then push straight up. A lot of the times it messes around. But good on you, mate. If I was on an evaluation, I may have had a go at that because I would consider that a little bit more aggressive. I don't really want to risk $400 per account, $2,000 on that when we could have a leg and a leg after this. But it could be a small break. But yeah, that worked beautifully, that did. Yeah. I wouldn't have said there was a lot of resistance up here, to be honest with you. Anyway, stopping it. There's not looking any strong selling areas there, really, is there? We're just at the top of a range. If you're going to sell here, you're going to get your profits out at the bottom anyway, aren't you? You'd think. So you think, really, there's only probably buyers in here. We haven't been up here for a while, so... Yeah, Thomas Ways just said that he didn't take that because that downtrend had a break and expected a new low there. So if you're talking about the fail set entry a few minutes ago, I don't. Below the EMA. Oh, downtrend doesn't need a new low, need a higher low. Downtrend doesn't need a new low. I don't. Don't take it. Do you consider... Thomas, do you like the continuation failure? Okay. He doesn't. Below the EMA. Downtrend doesn't need a new low. Need a higher low. Okay. Bar is huge, but finished above the EMA. Yeah, my only concern is bum, 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 and then down. So he said that channel doesn't need a new low. If you're talking about the fast entry a few minutes ago, I don't. No, he didn't take it, so I don't. Below the EMA, but it wasn't really, was it? Or was it on his chart? No, it's... No, yeah, he said below the EMA, but it's not really. It's closed clearly above it. So need a higher low above the EMA to confirm. Okay, so there's the failure. He be waiting for a higher low above the EMA, so he thinks that was below the EMA. He may consider it below because it's only just broken above it. But he doesn't believe that needed a new low, so okay, maybe it doesn't. I mean, there's argument to say it's had a small break. Some of these breaks can be that bloody tiny. So, yeah, it's one of those trades. Some will go for it, some won't. It was a little large bar which kind of put me off it. And I thought we may have two legs and an attempt at retesting it, but late today has been any good setups. Not really. The volume's a little bit low in all fairness. We had this channel up. I think the only call for one, there was two nice legs down there, so there was a possible one there, but the bar was huge. It was about 5.5, 6 points. But then we're here, we push up, sideways, push up. We had some medium impact news, which I've never seen create that before. So medium impact news, no trades here. A couple took a trade there. Fell second entry short there, which worked beautifully. Apart from that, not really, you haven't missed much. It is working up. But no, not a lot. It's still quite a lot of chop here, all this as well, chop. We'll see that news spike. Never seen that medium impact news do that before. I'm not the only one either. And then we push down here, drop out the bottom. We don't often do that either. Literally drop out and then push straight back in. So this channel's had a new break and a new high, so putting longs on hold just at the moment. Yeah, there's a couple of people mentioned on the Thomas Wade's group that they're having a bit of lag. Anybody having a bit of lag? Oh, I've had no issues. Normal for me. 0.7, that's not terrible, is it? If it's orange, there's a little bit of lag, as long as it's not orange. But I've not had any problems. Short of that 8 tick. That one there. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad trade, actually. We've had a little push here. We've had a small break of this channel, new high. We've had a break of the big channel. There's bound to be a few longs there, so it touched that by a point, triggered that by a point, no issues. Had some lag in these, yeah. Similar to mine, yeah. Yeah, I think that's quite a clever trade there. Leg down, little push up. Obviously, some buyers. You expect another leg down. And looking at the NQ, that's kind of ranging. Channel little overshoot, 3 attempts and then down. So we may get a decent push down now. You had an overshoot on your channel, yeah. So if I'm going to keep that tight to there, channel maybe with a little break and a new high. We've had a new high off. This is the bigger channel anyway. We've got a leg down, a bullish bar. Put it this way, I wouldn't take that bullish bar. If I took that, I'd expect to get stopped out. And if you get stopped out with a leg down, pull back and that gets stopped out, you can more or less guess it's going to come down to that EMA at least, giving us a leg and a leg. So yeah, I don't think that's a bad trade as a sort of a intuitive one. Little break and then straight back down. Yeah, see Taylor. So you had an overshoot. Yeah, Taylor's got an overshoot. How's he got his? Yeah, I'm not quite sure how Taylor's working is. Let me bring it in a minute. There's Taylor's chart there. It's the same as mine. Let's have a look. Let me just move it over a minute. Yeah, if you look where it's touching here, it's the same as mine. I'll tell you what he's done. So it's all right. Keisha, you just mentioned an overshoot. What he's done is he's put that there, I think. And he's brought this down to there. He's got his like that, which is a bit odd. But then he's got this as, yeah, it's a bit of an odd channel there, but he's got that as an overshoot. So I don't like that personally. You got too many bits sticking out here and here. But sometimes when we get a break out that side or an overshoot, we get the opposite one here. So it might not be as bad as I thought. That's a new spike on there, so I'm not concerned with that. Little overshoot, strong pull back, break the other side, which has given us the kind of opposite. So, yeah, it's funny that Thomas Wade's just changed this as well. But he's changed this to, I don't know, this is a few different ones going around here. He's moved that higher. He's not got this as an overshoot. Right, okay, he's just got this coming down here to there, and he's putting that there. That's how Thomas has got his. That's how I had it. Yeah, I prefer that, I do. Little break out at the bottom and push up. Touch, 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 touch. Touching fine there, nice. Touch, touch, touch. Yeah, I think I prefer Thomas's. I want to reach that stage where I short that bull bar. Yeah. See, I think that in a strange way is quite a clever trade to go short there, because with this push up, there's going to be traders buying there, isn't there? But then it triggers it with one tick and comes down. So then I would say leg down, leg down. If that comes down, takes out that stop, the next place it's going to come down is here. there's going to be some shorts. There's a little double bottom, so I'd say it's going to break below there. So there's definitely some points to be had there, I think. And you could even put your maybe put your order on the engulf in there, or when it gets close. But channel break, new high, whether you've got an overshoot, whatever, it's looking to me like we're going to have a pullback, and we have. So putting a short in there, I don't think it's a bad trade, actually. Would you go for a higher low here? Would I? Not at the moment, because we've had that break. Now, sometimes we'll have a break and we might have one push to an OI, 2 legs back, and a second push. But after we've had a break and a new high, I forget trading long just at the moment, just to see. Give it chance to sort of reverse. See, I like to, even when we have a break, I still like to see that 2 pushes higher. So I'd probably just wait here personally. We know it's most likely coming down. Yeah, we do, yeah. But no way I'm taking that trade. Don't have it in me yet. As I say, I think that's quite a clever trade, I do. But yeah, I can see what's happening, and I see these things happening, but I'm thinking, oh, I can't take that. Because that to me would be trading on intuition and gut feeling, and I think that comes in time. But when you see that happen again and again and again, at some point, I think you're going to start taking it. But I think every time you see it, it'll start to build up a little mental picture in your head, and you'll get to some point where you go, oh, I've seen that happen 1,000 times, let's go for it. Yeah, I think that's okay. At some point, you do just get better and better. Your gut feeling, your experience, your intuition. The more I do this, the more I understand that that experience is everything. This is purely a numbers game. The longer you've been trading, the better you get. You can't help but get good at this. So we've had a break and new high. There is a second entry long there. I'm avoiding that because we've already had a break and a new high, and there is a possibility that we could now work down. More about experience, right? Absolutely, absolutely. I think a strategy that Matt teaches us is just a very basic way of learning to trade. You have to have a strategy, and I think all these strategies work very, very similar. I just took that nice drop on the NQ. Good on you. I think all these strategies work very, very similar. Traders see the same thing. They just get in at different places. Some will get in right at the bottom of here if they think it's going to come here. Us will wait for a push higher or a bar, but we all get in very similar places. So, you know, when you learn to drive, they teach you the very basics. And then when you go away, you build your skill up through years and years of driving. You get better at it. You get better at your awareness on the road. When you're reversing, after a while, you just know what's around you. Your eyes are flicking from mirror to mirror, and it's all automatic. So the more you do this, the more you just keep getting better and better at it. You can't help but, if I sit here 3 hours a day, day in, day out, year in, year in, you'll just notice things, and you'll just have that intuition that this doesn't look right. Let's stay out of it. Or I've seen this before. I know what's going to happen. The thing's going to drop, and eventually you'll start saying it's worth a go. But yeah. The more I do it, the more I kind of get excited about trading, because the more I understand what goes on. So this is where you've got to be careful. I think the temptation is to go long. I'm not saying it won't go long, but at the moment I want to give it chance to start to come down. And at the moment we've had a break in a new high, lower high, possibly again. So this to me now is looking like it may start to work down. So I want to give it that little bit of space. So if you took that long there, it may come down and get you, or it could continue up. But you have to just give it that space, I think. What's the NQ look like? NQ is starting to look like it may come down for a spell. We got to push up. First attempt to go, second attempt to go, and then down. We've pushed up again and come down again. So we're trying to get above this here. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment. I think after breaking a new high, you have to suspend going longs and just give it a little bit of a chance to see what it wants to do. Exactly. Good analogy. What it's like playing an instrument. Absolutely. You know, within a couple of months, we can all, you know, I play guitar, and, you know, after a couple of months, you learn 5 chords, you can play off about 90% of the Beatles songs. But to be a good guitarist, you do keep getting better and better and better the more you practice, like any skill. You know, Mac talks sometimes about being a doctor. Well, if you think about it, how it starts is you've got the nurses, and then you've got junior doctors, and then you've got senior doctors, and then you've got like registrars and consultants. And you don't get there without spending your time in hospital day in, day out, learning and improving and making mistakes, and learning, improving, making mistakes. And 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the line, you're incredibly competent at what you're doing. And from speaking from a hospital side of it, you've kind of seen it all and done it all. And it's the same type of thing. Anything where there's a skill, you just keep getting better and better. Scalp trader enters when others exit the market. So scalper refers to enter the whip part. I read something like that the other day, actually. It was it who mentioned it. You know, we get that sort of, we push up and then we pull back. And I think it's like when they talk about, do you still have a code for trade in copy? Yes, I do, but it's on my chart there. Bottom left, next to my ugly mug. Replikanto UKFT20 in capitals. If you do use it, it's appreciated. Thank you. I forget who it was. When we have that initial push bit, a lot of traders, when it starts to come back, are panicking and taking their panicking and getting out of trades. Where the experienced ones, when it comes back, they're re-entering. So yeah. I get what you're saying there. You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Since Mac is not a scalper, the fun part of Mac's system, he goes for 4 ticks. Yeah. See, I believe Mac originally, this is my belief, originally started from, was it from Al Brooks? He started doing Al Brooks' thing. If you're bored one night, have a look through some of Mac's older videos. They're really interesting to watch. You can kind of see how he's developed. I saw him move his stop once, actually, and it worked in his favour. And sometimes he'd have it 2 or 3 ticks below his signal bar. So it's interesting to see how he's developed over the years. But like we were saying earlier, I think Mac teaches us, you know, when you teach somebody something, when you teach kids at school, you don't teach them every single thing they're going to know throughout the whole life. You give them that basic, you have a curriculum or a syllabus or whatever one you want to call it, and you teach him a good standard basic education. And they go out into the world with that. And if they choose to go to college after, they increase their education. If they choose to go to university, they increase their education some more and more specialised in certain things. So that's kind of what Mac's given us. He can't tell us every single trick of the trade or the things he's learnt, because it would take years to do that. And when you hear Mac talk about it, sometimes he'll hit on that level, but the only way to really learn is to just get out and keep trading. You know, we said that lots of times in the past. Experience is everything, and the more I do it, the more I understand how right he is. So I think, see, I want Mac sometimes to tell me more. You know, I want him to talk about what he's thinking and that, but I think he knows in his own mind that he can't give you too much. You need to figure it out for yourself. So the more I hear him talk, the more how I want him to tell me more, the more I understand why he doesn't, if that makes sense. Old videos. Yeah, they were. Yeah, he used to. Yeah. But it just goes to show how we all develop it. You know, the most experienced traders have been trading, you know, years and years. You all kind of change and develop. But I've been saying for a year and a half now, I think scalping 1 point in today's climate, it is so hard for newer traders. And I kind of wished Mac would say that. And a few weeks ago he did. And I love the fact that he said that. That's the first time I've heard him talk about adapting this system in the slightest. And he said, if anybody didn't see it, if you're only, trading one or two contracts, it's a waste of time just going for 1 point. You won't make the money. You've got to go for more. So it was really nice for him to come out and say that. And I kind of hope he does it a bit more, actually. Brooks explains both swing and scalp trading and keeps them clearly distinct. Yeah, I have got a book of his, bud, actually. Trading. I'll get it, hold on. I did buy this off Amazon a couple of months ago. Trading price action trends, technical analysis and price chart bar by bar for the series trader Mal Brooks. It's a fair thick old book, and the text is absolutely bloody tiny in it. So if you need glasses to read, well, I do a little bit. Well, I can get away with it most of the time, but this is a bit small. But it does talk about everything. I've had it by the side of my bed for a while. I keep meaning to read it. I tend to put some headphones on. I put my earbuds on. I tend to listen to audiobooks. I've had Trade in the Zone. I don't know, about 10 or 20 other different ones. So I kind of like to do that, just chill out with a cup of tea in bed and put my earbuds on and listen to an audio, let someone else do the reading. But I think he's one of those, he's almost like a machine, isn't he? He's got like such a complicated, brilliant trading brain, I think, Al Brooks, isn't he? But I think any type of experience or things you can learn in trading is only going to make you a better trader. And I think, they say, stick to one strategy, don't move to others. I think that's right to a degree, but understanding how other traders look at the market and how they trade, I think helps you. So this is interesting. So we've got a leg and a leg back and a big bullish bar. But it's congested, and I don't like this at the moment. Scalping means a scalp trade gets extended into a swing trade. The problem increases the risk. Yeah, it's a complicated old business, isn't it? What I was saying about this quickly is this is starting to look like it may turn on the NQ. We're finding a lot of support up here, so this could come down. But yeah. So looking at Penguins trades, it's not Penguins trade. I was watching that girl. What's her name? Who trades ICT? She has a massive following. Fair dues to her. But she trades ITC, and me being a price action trader, she tends to play the numbers. And I saw her take a trade the other day. It was a month ago. No, not Tori. I'll find it. I don't think Tanya. It is Tanya. And there was two legs down. We had a leg down and a pullback, and it was looking like there was another leg down, and she went long. And I thought, as a price action trader, I'd never be going long there. She took the trade. It came down and got stopped out. So I think understanding other ways of trading can help you identify and build up your understanding of the markets better. So I think, I wouldn't necessarily go from swapping to one strategy to the next. For me, my prime strategy is Max. I think it's a great system, but it is a system that takes time to work. And, a lot of experienced traders say don't scalp when you're first learning to trade because it's quick, fast, and emotions. But I've kind of already been doing it for 3.5 years now. So, but I think it's a great system. But the more you understand about things like that, this slightly wider channel I see sometimes where you see, that downtrend, bullish bar there. If you just short that, crosses over, comes down, bullish bar there, short it, pulls back a little bit, comes down, 2 points. 2 trades in there. Penguin is he's kind of, he's almost identical to Max setups, but slightly at a bigger scale. But I took a few of his trades a week and a half ago and Mac marked them both. So they kind of interline a bit, but yeah, he does go for a little bit more points, doesn't he? Whereas Mac goes for a point. He tends to go for maybe 4 to 7 or something like that. But they're very similar. For instance, the channel up, 2 legs back. That's the type of trade he may take, but that's the type of trade Mac would take. Although it's not a second entry by the count. Well, actually, that is because there's a new high. But if it was multiple, I think ultimately Mac gives us this basic bit of knowledge, and we kind of learn with it. But you'll hear Mac say sometimes you can clearly see there's 2 legs down and so on. But I think they're all very much interlinked. But I think the more experience you get, you do start to think out the box, and you kind of sort of grow up and mature and get to understand it. But I like the fact, the more I want him to tell me, the more I understand why he holds back, because he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to cabbage your brain with a load of things that you really need chart time to experience. Scalping for E-mini and swing trades for Forex. Yeah, I also think it doesn't really matter what you trade. Charts are charts, especially from a price action point of view. You could trade stocks, you could trade commodities, futures. I don't really think it matters. I think the important part is for a price action trader, a chart is a chart. Whether it's a 5-minute chart or whether it's a 30-second chart or a 10,000 tick chart. We've all heard Max say 100 times, doesn't matter what you're trading. I think ultimately, but yeah, the more I want Mac to tell me, the more I understand why he holds back and just doesn't give you more information than you need. You need to build up the rest yourself. But I would love him to trade one day, maybe close to when he retires, and just talk through his seeing them and saying, yeah, okay, I'd take that one. Or take that one. I'd love him to do that just once, just to kind of get into his head. I talk about what I'm seeing, partly because I'm telling you guys, partly because it helps me think. I think this is going to come flushing down. This to me is looking like it's trying to suck in longs. I never thought about changing strategies, but I saw a video from Nick Sean that intrigued me. Yeah, I watch a few that spark my interest. I like watching. Yeah, I do as well. Yeah, I always watch Thomas Wade's every evening, but yeah, I like watching his trades as well. I think I like about Thomas as well is he'll show you when he has his losses. And I think it's important because I think it's, you tend to think, you hear experienced traders saying, yeah, we all have losses, and you kind of think in the back of the edge, yeah, I bet you don't have many. But I've always liked the way Thomas Wade shows us his losses. And I think it's important to realise losses aren't a bad thing. It doesn't mean you're a bad trader. It doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you're experiencing the part of trading which ultimately you can't do without. It's always going to happen. You're gonna lose less as you get more experience, but ultimately from time to time, whether it's down to a mistake, a misjudgment, you are going to take the odd loss. And if we can almost switch off those emotions completely, or the old Men in Black thing, you can put one of those in front of your eyes and press the button so you've forgotten you've had a loss. I think you'd bloom as a trader. Mac trades with magnets. Magnets are price levels where the market will turn. It's interesting you say that. When I first started to learn to trade, I was trading a currency. The first thing we would do with our chart is draw levels of a level like that. We start off with this. We start off with this because it's easy to see, and then we would put our levels in, support and resistance levels, wherever they are. You can see one there where we get multiple touches. We got one there, touches there, touches there, touches there. And these are areas where they tend to bounce off. So, for instance, you wouldn't want to go long there because there's a level that's respected. So, we kind of sort of did that initially. But I think all these other strategies, although I wouldn't necessarily, I'd never get rid of max, I think learning about them, I think is useful. It'll only really help you. I would like for Mac, for example, to mark what seem to be good setups that fails. Yeah, what I'd love him to do at the end of the day is say, okay, I've marked 15 trades there. Which do I think were the best of the best and the ones that he would take? Because although sometimes they look like good trades, in real time, when you don't know the market might push up after that ILO, you can't take it. And I'd like him to talk about where inexperienced traders are likely to get caught out. So this has been an uptrend with a break and a new high, and it's holding, but it's also moving very slow and stacking up. So this is the type of trade that I would have got trapped in. Now, this to me looks what I sort of tend to describe as trapping in longs. It's sucking longs in it. It's saying, look, we bounced here, we bounced here. It looks like we're going to go up. And you jump in here and it flushes down. Did somebody mention a range there? I think there probably is. So this looks to me like it's a place where there's going to be people buying, thinking this is going to push up. So you may be in there now. There's not a lot of bullish bars here, really, to be fair, but I think this is the type of thing that moves slowly up and then drops and takes out a bunch of long stops. If you're thinking about, I want to get in here, we're going to get a move up. It's funny you should say that. Someone's just taken a bearish bar here. I haven't got one here. But someone's literally, 17 has just put that on there. They're shorting that bearish bar there. See, he's got that now as a bearish bar, as a bearish channel. So have I. And he's took that. A short here somewhere. Is it that one? It may be that one. His chart's a bit different than mine. I mean, yeah, I'll tell a lie. I've got a different chart here. So he's just shorted that one there. I'm not so sure about that because it's congested at the moment. But I do think it's sucking in longs. This is my second chart. This is. So he's shorted that. I wouldn't short that this close to the bottom. I would like to see there's more longs in there. There's another long in there now. There's some longs in there. There's another long in there now. So I think we're going to have a leg down sideways and another leg down. Forget this. This is, excuse me a sec. Oh dear. Yeah, you can't get involved here really. I do think it's going to come down though. Channel break. There is a failure there, which is tempting, but I'm not getting involved here because it's just whipping up and down. It's probably going to come down, I'd say, personally, but we've got two legs down. We may have a leg up and a leg up, trap all the shorts, and then drop So I'm just sitting tight at the moment. Especially on a Friday, you don't want a bad day on a Friday, really. Makes your day, makes your weekend crappier. But if this is a channel with a break, I expect a new low, but see what I mean? Lower high failure, triggered, now it's pushing up. I'm not expecting it to push up as in continuation, but I got no issues with it taking out some of these stops. So if you take 4 or 5 ticks in the direction of the magnet, do it. If you want to extend it, go for 2 or 3 points. You will not win. Right, okay, so any stops there, just been taken out. So that guy lost his trade. Where did he take it? Yeah, it's just too risky, I think, taking something like that at the moment. Yeah, it does look like it's coming down, but when it's sideways like that, it just tends to whip up and down. Are you keeping trade about? No, you don't need to. Just sign into it, and then close it down. So if I go into, I'll show you. I go into Trade of 8 login. So this is what I see. So if I go into Trade of 8 login, all I select is login. Let's do it again. Why don't let me log in? It's probably, oh, okay, login, and then you get this up there. Select a trading mode and then just close it down. And then you open it in your connections. Yeah, you don't have to keep Trade of 8 open like you do with Rhythmic. So, and if you took that there, you got triggered stopped out. If you took that one there, you got triggered stopped out. I still think it's going to come down. Well, there you go. So there'll be longs in there. That one didn't trigger. There's not a great deal of longs in there, but it does seem to me like it's sucking in buyers ready to just go like that and take them out. Why do that? You can just connect straight from... Yes, I do. But when you initially... See, if I use My Funded Futures, when you initially sign up to My Funded Futures, you have to log into Tradeovate and then close it down and then open NinjaTrader. See, if I click connections... So I'll show you. So if initially you sign in, and then if I go into connections, I just click connect. You've got to configure this like you had to configure Rhythmic, so they're both open at the moment. But yeah, I don't have Tradeovate open. I just had to sign into it initially when you first sign up to the account. It's quicker. It's quicker as well. It takes a second to open, whereas Rhythmic takes 5 or 6 seconds, 7 or 8 seconds maybe. Yeah. If you sign up with My Funded Futures, which I've got on this account, although I haven't taken a try, I haven't really been focused on this today. Initially, you'll get your credentials, you'll sign into Tradeovate. Then when you click login, just close it down. And then you can go to NinjaTrader, click connections, and once it's configured, just select it. But I have all this stuff open. With Rhythmic, so I can see what's happening with Rhythmic, but you don't need it with Tradeovate for some reason, which enables me to trade them both at the same time. So yeah, there's nothing you can really do here. Tony, how you doing, buddy? Got you. I didn't realise, mate. That's the trouble, really. Sometimes I chat to people on Messenger because they got a different name. I don't recognise. I don't recognise it is. Got you. Brilliant. Oh, so you do a bit of diving, do you, bud? I did my patio water dives at Stony Cove in January in Leicestershire. It was absolutely flipping freezing. Are you from the UK? I'm pretty sure you are, aren't you? Or are you? Can't remember whether you said you're from the UK or not. Can't remember. Yeah, I did my paddy dive course in Leicestershire in the UK. In an old, it's an old mine. Is it an old pit or something? Old slate mine, I think. In a dry sea, it was absolutely bloody freezing in January. There was thick snow on the ground. It's all right when you're in and the water circulates around your head and hands, but when you first get in. So what is going on here? London, yeah. Cave diver. I got you. Cave diver. I don't know if I'll have the nerve to do that. Down, bloody hell, yeah. No, I only did my open water dive course. You can go on, with Paddy, you can go on to do advanced open water dive, rescue diver, and then whatever else, can't you? I did mine about 15 years ago. I did it was a bit more than that. No, it was a bit more than that. I did a dive out in, like a tri-dive out in when I was in Kenya. And I loved it. I also did one a year later in Cuba. So just did a course when I was over here. But I haven't dived much. I dived in Turkey 6-7 years ago. That's the last time I've dived, I think. But yeah, there's nothing like diving abroad, is there, compared to the UK? It's not pleasant in the UK. It's not the warmest of waters in the UK, is there? I mean, I think even in the summer you use a dry suit, don't you? I think. Cave diver. Oh, I'm not bad in in closed spaces. Yeah, I was in a club. I used to go to Cannock. There was a BSAC club where I lived, but I used to go out to Cannock, and they used to practice in a pool there. And every year they'd have like an annual trip to the Red Sea. It's about as sort of close to tropical diving as you can get, really. And there's not a lot of difference with time, is it? What is it? An hour, a couple of hours, a few hours, something like that. But yeah, I've been to Egypt, but I've never. It was more like a 3-day fly-in visit, around Cairo and that sort of stuff. But I've never been to the Red Sea as in a holiday, but I would like to go. But it's not mega expensive. I think the big fascination was when I was doing a bit was the liverboards. You'd spend a week or two on those really nice sort of cruise and yacht type things. And just sort of, drive all around the Red Sea and dive. I quite fancied that, actually. In fact, I very, very nearly went over and did a dive course before I did it in Stony Cove in Leicestershire. It wasn't much. It was about £600 back then for a week. That was a hotel, all your diving, all your sort of paperwork, your qualification stuff. Yeah, I think mine's well out of date now. The last time I dived was Turkey, which was probably 6 years ago. The trouble is, I got a daughter now, so when you go, when I go away with a family, you kind of got to hang around with your family, really, don't you? can get flights, weeks diving, Liverpool, 25 dives, and food for £100 and that is so cheap. That is so cheap. It really is, isn't it? Let me know. 25 dives and food and accommodation for £100. Bloody hell. I think we are going away next year. We haven't this year, but I think we'll go. See, I'm a cricket fan, I am. And the next few years, I want to go out to Australia for a few weeks to watch the Ashes. And I'd like to do a bit out there. But yeah, I quite fancy that. My daughter's turned 16 now, so another couple of years I'll be able to disappear by myself. But it's hard when your kids are little, isn't it, just to bugger off on holiday by yourself. But yeah, some of those boats though look incredible. This market has been tricky. Yeah, it has, mate. I was just going to say that yesterday. There was a load of chop as well, wasn't there? Started off chop, more chop down here, all around here. We had that little bit of movement, and then it was up, chop. And the latter part of the day was as well, and it ain't much better. See, this to me, it kind of looked like it's starting to work up. But I just don't like this. Whenever I've looked at this stuff before, there's some longs, maybe there, maybe here now. A lot of times it'll do that, suck them in and then drop. And on that NQ chart as well, we're really struggling to get above the top of this line. There's a lot of support here, so this could just turn. That's so cheap, £1,000. That's good, that is. We looked at a holiday for me, my wife and my daughter in the summer holidays. That was about 3,800 for a week. So that's cheap as well. But cave diving, I don't know if I had the nerve to do that. I kind of like exciting, thrilling stuff. I did a little bit of skydiving years ago. I didn't do many. I did about 30 jumps, but it was more going there. Weather was naff, so we'd have to come back, and we ended up moving, and my job changed and that. But I kind of like exciting stuff. I want to sort of, when I get older and die, I want to get to me, the end of my life going, what a rush. You know what I mean? Rather than turn up in pristine condition, never doing anything. I kind of like doing some different stuff. So this does look like it's sucking in longs to me. I mean, it could continue up. I wouldn't want to go long there. They do that. They suck you in there. And all of a sudden it comes flushing down. You don't want to be there anymore. Yeah. In fact, I watched it was a documentary a couple of weeks ago about a guy that used to, you might have watched it, that used to go caving, not diving, but caving. And it was in America somewhere, and he got into this system that he'd been in before. And he kind of got stuck head first down. He went into this cave. He went in through this long, small passage where he could hardly fit. And it was kind of a dead end. And he went over a lip, and it was a dead end, and he couldn't get out. And they tried everything to get him out. But by the time they eventually got to him, for something like that, he died in the end, and he's still there now. They could never get him out. But he couldn't back up himself. It was quite sad, actually, because you kind of think, how would you feel in a position like that when chances are you're never going to get out. Yeah, it was a documentary, true story, but flipping hell. Yeah. Oh, was it really? Yeah, it was just weird. He sort of got down this tiny little passage for a while. I also watched that film about when the kids got trapped as well. That was a good watch. Was it in Vietnam or something? Somewhere around about there. And they went into this cave, and I think there was a mass flood, wasn't there? And it all filled up, and they kind of got stuck. Thailand, was it? Yeah, that was a good film, that was. But I saw there was some British divers went over and did something, and I think there was some Thai military divers, because I think one of them was killed, wasn't it? But they actually they put them all to sleep, didn't they? Put them all unconscious, put breathing equipment on, and got them through all these tunnels. How the hell they did it? It was a massive feat to do, really. Didn't it take an hour or 3? Yeah, it was Thai SEALs, that was it. Did it take something like 3 or 4 hours to get them out? Something crazy like that. But yeah, it was one of the Thai SEALs. Did he panic or something? Didn't he? And ended up to 8 hours. I mean, that is incredible. That is, to have the nerve to do that, to be one of the guys that got them out. Wow. They're the people in the UK that should, or if it was the UK guys that did it, that should be getting the MBEs, not the bloody footballers. Ran out of air, got lost. Yeah. It takes some nerve to do that. It really does. Yeah, that was an interesting watch. I watched that a month and a half, 2 months ago. Yeah, crazy. You've got to have some nerve to do that. This is coming flushing down, like I thought. So that one's going to go. Maybe down here. Yeah, air run out. That must be a scary feeling. It was the UK divers. Yeah, it was the UK divers. I thought it was. You've got to be a special breed to be able to do that sort of stuff. I admire you, mate. I couldn't do it. The diving, yeah, not being in a cave. I don't know how I even feel about going to a cave. I've not got an issue with small spaces, but yeah, like you say, sometimes if you're in a position and you think, I'm not happy about this, it's not a case of just switching the lights off and on and away you go, is it? You're kind of stuck and you have to get yourself out. Okay, so that stop getter. It looked like it was going to tease in some buyers, that one. So is it going to come down and take that out? Or is it indeed going to push up? Yeah, I might watch that again at some point, actually. It was interesting. But it was amazing, really, how they got them all out. Because you can't really put dive equipment on, breathing apparatus stuff on, with kids and teach them how they're going to react in 8 hours. The only option is to put them to sleep. But that's a feat in itself. Giving them enough to keep them under. Because normally when you put people to sleep, you sort of have an anaesthetist, don't you, to monitor all their vitals and all that sort of stuff. But how the hell they did that, got them all out, is beyond me. Yeah, putting someone to sleep for 8 hours while you manoeuvre them around little tunnels and stuff, that is incredible. Yeah, I might watch that again over the weekend. I really enjoyed that. Now that is interesting. That is a strong move up there. So this thing may continue on up. I'm concerned about getting in along there though, but that off this is a strong move. So I'm still not ready to buy yet, and that's 21 ticks in itself. We know this thing can keep going up because we can see it on the daily, on the 2,000, on the 10,000 tick chart. I'll have a look at that later, bud. Dive into the unknown. I'll have a look at that later. Any trades today, mate? I've been sitting on my hands. No, you and me both, mate. Nothing today. It's not been the easiest of days. A few people took that one. Well, a few of the Thomas Wade's took that one. I think there was one in the stream who took that one. I wasn't sure about that. See, after we've had a break, I was concerned we get 2 legs and then maybe something like that. But a few took it and it obviously worked. But really, the volume's a bit low considering where we are at the time of the day. Usually, you know, they're all bunched up like that when I try and take a photo on my screen, but I can see everything clearly, so the volume's low. But there isn't a lot. It's quite a bit of this stuff at the same as yesterday. We did have these moments of movement, but nothing before them, unfortunately, so I've had nothing. Which I don't mind. It doesn't bother me anymore. If there's nothing to get, it doesn't bother me. But I think it's good practice sometimes in patience, isn't it? If you can sit here for 3 hours and not take a trade, I always tend to give myself a pat on the back. I do for that. When you're sort of newer to trading, the desire to want to just pull the trigger is so strong in it. But after a while, you just give up trying, don't you? You just can't do anything with it. 3 great days. Yeah, it's the way it works, isn't it? Sometimes it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I'm just looking at this 10,000 tick chart and I've just put that to there. Initially we had it there, which fitted nice, and now we've had a break. See, I always like to see 2 pushes up to a new high, so maybe that's the first push and this is the second push before we possibly get a reversal. But if you look on the daily, it can go up quite a bit more. My son's happy birthday to your son, mate. So gonna go take that. Good on you, mate. Happy birthday to you, yeah, lad. Yeah, it was my daughter's 16th, 5 days ago. Expensive time. Yeah, we're not far off breaking this level here. Well, I mean if this continues to push up like this, well, we could be up here by the end of the day. Yeah, you're probably right, actually, mate. I'll be surprised if we don't break all-time highs. What's that, about 90 points away? I mean, the way this thing's going, I certainly think we'll break these highs by the end of the day. That's assuming we don't get a pullback. But look how strong that moved up. We didn't really get, well, any bearish days, really. We had a couple of sort of mediocre days, but everything worked pretty. And we've already had a small pullback. A small pullback here, so kind of from there to there. So we've already had a small sort of 11 point. Yeah, this is the daily. So if this pushes up as strong as it looks like it's going to, and as strong as that, I think we may break this by the end of the day. There's all-time highs up there. So it'll be interesting. So when I saw that bar, I thought we could now push up a bit. There's some traps there. That trade there, if you took that, came down and stopped you out. There's not a lot of longs in here. I thought it was trying to suck longs, but there wasn't many offerings. That one didn't get taken, and that one didn't get taken, but that one did. And that's just happened to be where I had the bottom of the channel, and it's just pushed up strong. So whether we're just getting 2 legs or whether it's indeed going to push up till we get up to the levels like on the daily. We're not far off there. We're not far off at all. The tops there. Well, here, shall we say? We'll start with that. So we're here now. So another, let's say 30 points. That would get above there. And then we're probably another 50 points, 50 points all-time highs. So I think all-time highs will come, if it doesn't come today, or maybe the early part of next week, but you never know. I mean, if we go with the size of that one bar, we had a couple of days ago. That moved up, was it about 150 points? So if we take that one as an example and put that to there, and we could comfortably do it. It is pushing up really strong. So I don't think it'd be long. We'll certainly hit that by the end of the day. I think, yeah, these things sometimes, markets tend to rally on a Friday. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if we end up breaking all-time highs by the end of the day. I really wouldn't. Volume bars, yes, contract expire on Friday, but volume is picking up on Z contracts starting. So I'm taking we're rolling over, are we? On Monday. Using the next quarter contracts. Have very low volume today. Contracts, 700k contracts added. LS for FOMC on Wednesday. So there is a split of volume going to ES contracts. Yeah, true enough. Some will have rolled over, won't they? I wonder what the volume's like. Let's have a look. Oh, not that one. So that'll be 12, wouldn't it? Let's see if there is any volume on 12. Why didn't it just disappear? Let's see if there's any volume. What the hell is that? Right, this needs reloading, doesn't it? See, my news has disappeared now. Oh, look at that. There's my all-time highs thing there. Where was that? It's disappeared. Sure why that's like that. This looks like it's ready to launch. So where do we have that there like that? Could push that up there really. Touch, touch. Just one, bud. Just one. You can only have 3 at once. With my funny futures, so yeah, just one. Not trade it today. To be fair, I haven't paid much attention to it today. What I may do is, I don't think we have another major move until FOMC. We will chop around here for a few days. FOMC is Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah. It's that when we find out about rate cuts, which looks like I think, well, it seems to think it's going to happen. I hope so. It'd be nice for crypto. It has been hard today. Either 50 points or 25-point cut. Yeah. So it should be an exciting day anyway. So hopefully, yes, I passed it. I started the day before yesterday. Yeah, I started the day before yesterday. So yeah, passed it. Yeah, passed the evaluation and started it day before yesterday. 50 will be good, expecting 25, yeah, so 50 should hopefully, mind you, does it tend to do the opposite sometimes, doesn't it? Send it down, it's positive news, hasn't it done that recently? So all-time highs around about the 730 mark, I think. Somewhere around here. I'll soon tell you. Let's have a look. Yeah, around 725, 30, something like that. Time high is locked, so it's not exactly, it's somewhere around there. Where's my extend? Right. So somewhere around about up here. So we've not got far to go. There's 80 points thereabouts, somewhere around about there. 87 points-ish, give or take. I mean, we're heading in the right direction, aren't we? I mean, that was a fair move. We thought it was doing. We thought that was a big move, but that one just dwarfed that, didn't it? He's got to do something this time, hasn't he? I think all the signals are right anyway, aren't they? I think. So break, 2 pushes up to a new high. This thing seems like it's going up. So is there any way I can adjust it? Somewhere along those lines. We're still moving up anyway. I don't think many people have taken trades today. I think there's been 1 or 2. I don't think Thomas has taken a trade today. Not that I've seen. No, Thomas hasn't. A couple have, but a couple have got stopped out on one of these bars here. There's just nothing you can do up here. Be interesting to see whether this thing has a little rally towards the end of the day. Yeah, these are the types of days that chop traders up, aren't they? So many, going back a year or so, I'd have got massacred on these series. I have learned the hard way just to stay out of them. It's just not worth it. As soon as it starts going like that, you just got to stay out of it. Unless it's readable, sometimes it is a bit like that. It's readable. It's a little bit choppy there, but you can still kind of read it. We can still clearly got 2 legs down. But once we get like this, it's just very hard. Slow, slow, slow. We finally got above this on the NQ. I may knock this on the earlier now. I think a few are finishing. It's just boring the hell out of me now. We go up sideways. It's just not doing a lot now, is it? Mind you, whenever I leave the chart now and I come back later or look later, we've made another 30, 40 points. So excuse me a sec. Okay, I'm going to knock on the head, folks, I think. Okay, look, have a great weekend. If you're carrying on training, best of luck. Thanks for that, Tone. I'll have a look at that video later, mate, for sure. So look, have a great weekend. Stay safe, and I'll be back on Monday. But yeah, FOMC week next week, so expect some fireworks. So I will love you and leave you. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll be back Monday. Yeah, you too, bud. See you next week. Take it easy.